Good morning. It's I, Solomon Paschal-Desbin, official Solomon Paschal-Desbin on Instagram. Uh, I'm here on YouTube, uh, Solomon Paschal-DesbinMuziq. I'm on all streaming platforms, iTunes, Pandora, YouTube, of course, Spotify, YouTube Music, Deezer. KK Box. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I really don't know what that means. It's really sounding very sickening, but I'll explain here later on. There's going to be a tender rhapsody. So let me catch up on today. Today is Saturday, June the 6th, July 6th. I'm sorry, what line that June? July 6th. It's approximately about 7:03 to 4 in the morning here on this beautiful Saturday morning. About last night, I'm in downtown Dayton enjoying my time with the fellas. I tossed my time out here, wandering around in these streets, or laying down somewhere at someone's house, or enjoying stuff after I decided to walk away from my apartment because of slumlordish activity with a building that was already closed and condemned years prior that they moved and tried to get their jiggy off with I'm believing Section 8 fraud. And then when I figured out how much money I was actually spending, because per in this hotel, in this apartment, if you're spending 350 to 60 and it's fluctuating from 314 to your actual rent that you are living in is changing depending on the month and what number code bus system of racism religion that they're playing it out to be for their local public transportation. I mean, to the point where, like, you could always go to an erotic website and then at the bottom you see the initials for your local city's public transportation. And then them playing in music that you had wrote that is basically about Michael Jackson or me, and then them trying to play it out as it being a picture and a haircut and fan work. I mean, but really it's because your half brothers never, or anyone you've ever known, never been able to get this personal with these big musicians the way you did on who they are as musicians with them personally. Culture sending Black America. And they are musicians and they have played with your heads a lot. A lot of you are here as babies because of them, probably not, but it depends on whose music and whose culture you're talking about. Or what you were listening to it for, the conversation that makes you queasy. Last night, let me give you on a couple of days ago, went out to a place to wash up, wash my clothes. Needed a spot there so I could go a little bit of shopping, pick up some threads. I plan on shooting a music video here pretty soon myself, so I went out and got me some more attire and uh, articles of supplementation that I could use for myself to help with connective tissue and tendons and um, all that type of stuff that I've got going on. I am 38 years old. I've been working out my whole life at an extreme presidential world level. But if you ask at the high school I went to here in the Dayton, Ohio area, and the people who are directly and whose family are like really like chatty close to my family and who they are olympically to the world, if you really think about them as Olympians, you miss like like, man, that guy's in that circle, but he's not them. But like, he went off somewhere else and sat and like was doing like crazy stuff in the gyms and like would make music. And when he would make one musical song, he would be accountable for a lot of money and movement. And then it would spur really quick on the internet. That's me. It would, like I would put it up. It would like do numbers. People would listen to it. They would talk about it. It would end up somewhere else, be part of something that's part of something. And then somebody won and they remembered you for it and probably kicked somebody's ass over it. Like, you know what I mean? And then you gonna get your ass kicked over. But I'm like, you probably ain't listening if you listen to my magnanimous family of sportstitude. But it's really like sportstitude is pretty much, I mean, it's like humanistically living. Uh, I don't want to go too deep in that. I mean, you have to go like, it's so deep rooted. It's like, it goes past like your past papers. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, so like when they talk about, I mean, anything you talk about is papered past papers. Like, and then the papers that are passed are like deeds. And people get the deed. I'm like, yeah, it's yours now. You're not split. But then when you look at what the option was for your family, it's like it wasn't an option. It was kind of, and then like they said that. But I will say, my family with the Pascal's restaurant in Atlanta, Georgia, my grandfather. Felton being in the Negro League, you got to think he was playing at the age of 10, professionally. And he would, like, he had quit high school because, like, we owned the plantation. And he was such a great baseball player, but he was a man of God. And he could do so much stuff around the farm. He was a butcher, the best in the county in the area. Uh, We're talking about farm people. This is early, if you're born in the tens, this is early tens, sir. We're talking about 20s. I mean, you're learning that to be a butcher. You're a diesel mechanic on tractors and big stuff. Like, we're out here. Like, I fixed this metal and shit. Throw some grease on it, throw some gas in it. But you're a professional baseball player. You're that. Fuck. I mean, but your Negro League team is like the Michael Jordan Monstars. An area takes this team when he leaves, and the great Mike. I mean, he gets his high school diploma. He moves on. He continues to play ball, and he works. He makes it all. I mean, he plays against professional teams, and he talked about them all. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's so fucking much. It's freaking ridiculous. I mean, 47 comes around. They start. I mean, but before that, there was talk about major. My grandfather, like, man, I was like, shit, I could have, but I wasn't even hell no. But like, probably would have, yeah, but like hell no. And a lot of us was like, hell no. And there was a bunch of hell no. Man. You can go. And a lot of baseball players quit when Jackie Robinson went to the majors. Around that time, the league dwindled down like the black guys, and it wasn't for the guys who didn't make it. It was just the whole conversation. We got one, and a lot of guys, the best one. So when you're talking about people like Satchel Paige, who wanted to go, who ended up playing like that in the 1960s and pitched at like 60 years old in a major league game. There's a lot of guys who, you like, what guys do you know who are better than Jackie Robinson, a three-time All-American sport player who was court-martialed in the United States Army. Some racist, nasty, ignorant shit went on. Then he got court-martialed and they sent him home. My grandfather ended up working with this young man to get him ready, but if he knew who the Paschal family is in the sweltering heat of injustice and the all right day, and not just like uh, he leaves in 1955. He becomes the manager of the Birmingham Black Barons, a Negro League baseball team in Birmingham, Alabama. He sells. He's on the team. He's his team. He's on the team. He's front office, like decisionary. Like I'm in the front. I'm a front office man. He sells the Birmingham Black Barons to the Chicago White Sox. He's in the room here. Yeah, yeah. Decision. I'm a decision. Yeah. Michael Jordan later on plays for the Birmingham Black Barons, Chicago White Sox. The White Sox end up becoming like my grandfather said they would get to their team that they would get to play to where and later on locally in the area in Ohio I'm from, they took this Indian thing and they made it a joke with another race. I almost died the other day in a car accident. Probably, the joke. Excuse me, with this Indian race, no offense. Driver gets in the car. He was playing out to be the other places where I was always going around putting hand sanitizer on my hands. So this guy gets in the car and he starts touching all of his little trinkets all over the car and keeps putting on hand sanitizer and the car smells like straight up ass. I mean, like when I was on the bus and I was on my phone and I played it, hey bro, somebody, I got to leave. Gangster shit, I shit my pants. I shit my pants. I shit my pants. I gotta go. I shit my pants. Got on the public transportation that was on the internet, and then everywhere I went, before I visited the website or even collected a debit card, I was being harassed by the local transit system, along with all the letters I wrote to Barack Obama, being harassed by black media, gay music reporter from the local radio news channel, a guy who was a producer of one of the songs that I made, and he was a cameraman for one of the local newses that of the TV. That's why I called it a black exploitation channel, the WB, or whatever, 45. But then again, it's like because at this point I'd rather watch Fox than MSNBC, CNN, or anything with my C-SPAN. I mean, that's just where the fuck I'm at. So I take my chance. And then what they're doing by neighborhood music and then the corruption, and then where I'm seeing where a lot of musicians are going to be getting sued, and then they got to be sued they, as a joke. Like, I got $1 and a cigarette for you. But when you really think about it, there's been a lot of say so, and there's been a lot of knowing about people who stole my music. The album Love Struck that is on this page, that is in it's on my YouTube page, which is in its entirety there. A company that later on, because of ink tattoos, what happened with me and of the government, a website that I was using was seized over by somebody and did or bought over and moved locally in the city in the dark web. And when you go to that, it's a company owned by a company, owned by a company like you're a dog. And it's actually humanistically and human rights violation, and it's now in Singapore, Malaysia. I mean, on my phone, I keep getting Singapore, Malaysia, and there's been a dirty tattoo, religion, crime, death scheme going on along with the underworld. And I called Barack Obama in 2011, started saying stuff about the Dayton, Ohio VA Medical Center. I was pissed. A buddy of mine lost his life at the Dayton, Ohio Veteran Administration. Um, he didn't have cancer, but he was an old drug user, and he couldn't even smoke cigarettes anymore. He died very, very quick. Um, when he died, he gave them warning that he said he was sick, and he thinks it's like, I said, nope, nope, because he tried to smoke a cigarette, and he said, I'm sick, I think it's about to go down. And then they berated him for, I mean, the shit that I've heard about a man who is, and what happened to a man who is literally, I mean, but then again, they can't deny you treatment. They can't do this. And then, I mean, prior before that, a man blew his brains off from fucking West Madison Air Force Base right on the front porch. Yeah, he was, I mean, that veteran was denied treatment from the Dayton, Ohio veteran. He wasn't a veteran. He was active duty in full fatigue. Active duty during the Iraq-Afghanistan war. Walked into that fucking place and said, I need this. Man, my back hurt like a motherfucker. I'm about to go smoke some weed, though. You know what I'm saying? Pow. Oh, shit. That's always how it starts, right? Shit. Should smoke weed with me. Could record some shit. See how you end up there very quick in the first hospital ever created of its sort by the 16th president of the United States of America, who freed those slaves and then told you soldiers that you got a place to live. For a little while, we're going to get better. We're going to mend up. I don't know what the problem is. So you got to get better. Whatever's wrong with your mind, whatever's been going on out there, whatever, you got to get ready to get back to your family, get back to this country, get back, get better. It's a tough one we just had. And if you knew who my family was, if you visited my Instagram and went through all the music and shared that story, you'd be like, we ain't even been to the other side. And the reason why the lives are so